Hey everybody, this is Miss NC Bound and I'm back with another video. This video comes from Detroit, Michigan. I don't know if you all have heard of the story about a lady by the name of Michelle Blair. She is currently serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole for unaliving her two children. So I have a short video I would like to play, and I'll be back with my commentary afterwards.
Everybody want to know? Yes, I did kill her.
In a lightning bolt of emotion, Michelle Blair admits to killing her 13-year-old daughter, Stony Blair, because she believed the teen and her 9-year-old son, whom she's also accused of murdering, had been harming her youngest child. Blair is charged with their murders, but the trial that began today is about the state attempting to terminate Blair's parental rights to her two surviving children and terminate the rights of both fathers. An attorney for the state suggesting Stephen Berry and Alexander Dorsey are deadbeat dads who didn't care about any of their children until 9-year-old Stephen Berry and 13-year-old Stony Blair were found dead in their mother's freezer earlier this year. Investigators believe Blair killed little Stephen first in 2012 and put him in her freezer. Then they say a year later, Blair killed her 13-year-old daughter. Prosecutors say her dad knew there was abuse.
What happens when your kids come to visit you in 2005?
Sister gave him a bath, seen whips on his back.
Who's seen whips?
My sister.
Your sister. Did you see these whips?
She showed them to me.
Are these long red marks?
No, they was healed up by the time I seen them.
Healed up. But do they appear to be long, like lines?
No, it's like slashes.
Another one of Michelle Blair's outbursts came as an attorney for one of the fathers was addressing the court.
So I asked the court not to be so inflamed by the mother's actions as to place those on my client. The allegations against my client, Mr. Berry, are failure to protect and abandonment.
And never being
He
Mother,
ate-
she was always on sex sites,
Mother.
right?
Mother, listen to me.
I had to beg you to come see me. For real,
Mother, listen to
no
me.
matter how much you lie or how your lawyers lie,
You done, Mother? Listen to me. This is a civil case. It's not a criminal case. We can and we will do it without you.
I never
We
tried to
will
say I
do it
didn't. I
without
did it,
you.
but that is not against the fact that they were never there for their children. I had to struggle with them all the time. They were never there.
You get your
Stephen, you
chance.
know we had to beg you. Me, Stephen, all of us used to cry for you.
You're not going to be able to
I'm
stay,
good.
Mother.
Come here.
There are rules.
And deputies had to take Michelle Blair out of the courtroom once again. And then there was also a moment when the judge was talking about Blair's youngest son, telling a social worker that he saw his mom kill his sister and brother. Blair then blurted out at that moment, quote, "He didn't see me kill Stephen because it was unintentional." The trial resumes tomorrow morning, and we will certainly be there. Reporting live in Detroit, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News. Back to you.
And Kim, she still wants custody of her children. Still,
Yes, the two surviving children. She very much does still want to maintain custody of those children. She would say their names in courtroom, and she said they would, after she would introduce herself, she would say, "I'm Michelle Blair," and she would say her children's two names, and she says, "And I will always be their mother," but she would not talk about the deceased children.
all right, Kim, just a hard day in court to watch. Thank you much. To begin with that.
Okay, so Michelle, I think her name is Michelle. I think I've heard them pronounce it Michelle in earlier reports, and then this report stated Michelle. So I'm just going to say Michelle. So I don't even know where to begin. So when she unalived her two children, she did one of the children in front of her youngest. So just imagine for a second the trauma her two surviving children must be going through. Or I'm sure right now they're adults, and I'm sure they have gotten so much therapy and counseling, so on and so forth, so that they can live productive lives. But at the time that this tragedy had taken place, imagine, you survived um, the beatings and the mistreatment from your own mother, and then have to turn around and see your mother unalive your siblings. And then, to make matters worse, your mother keep the bodies of their siblings in a deep freezer just in the room next door, that you have to constantly be reminded of. You're going about your daily business, your daily lives, knowing that your two siblings is in a freezer in the very next room. So that, I can't even comprehend that. The trauma that these kids must be going through, and being that they are young, they can't stand up to their mother. They can't go out and say anything to, the neighbors or their father or anything like that. Teachers, I don't even know if they were going to school, but just let that sink in for a second, what these surviving children must have gone through during this whole ordeal. And in a clip, they had a clip of one of the fathers of the deceased children who went to court to try to stop his parental rights from being taken. But, sir, where were you at the time that your child was being abused? I don't know if he was incarcerated or what have you, but he said his sister is the one that I guess gave the kid a bath and noticed that the marks on the kid's backside. You showed the father, but did you all, I don't know, call law enforcement, or did you try going to the house? What happened? Or did you just shrug your shoulders? Okay, well, let me just turn a blind eye because they're still here. Like, what was your thought process of it? That's what I'm not understanding. Did anybody try to get help for these children before the unfortunate act of taking both of your children's lives and putting their bodies in the freezer in your living room? Like, where were the adults in these situations? Because clearly, as you've seen through by watching the short video clip, the mother was just going crazy in court, like no regard for authorities. She just has it in her mind she's going to do or say whatever the heck she wants to do or say without any consequences whatsoever. And I just hope and pray that the two surviving children, last report that I saw was a few years ago, and there was another daughter who she graduated from high school, and I think she was going to college, and her youngest sibling had already been adopted by another family. So I just hope and pray that they are living productive lives, that they're still getting counseling. Of course, this is going to stay with them for the rest of their lives, but I hope they are able to, able to deal with what they've gone through, the trauma that I'm sure is so embedded in the back of their mind because they witnessed their mother's abuse. They witnessed the unaliving of their siblings. They were right there. And although they couldn't say or do anything, but just witness what their siblings went through and not be able to help them have to be a toll on them. And I'm sure will live with them for the rest of their lives. So I just hope right now they are living productive lives and they are still getting the treatment they so desperately need. And I just want to say rest in peace to Stephen, he was the first child who was unalived back in August of 2012 at the age of 9, and his sister, who was unalived in May of 2013 at the age of 13. So I just want to say RIP to them. Michelle Blair, I hope you get everything that you deserve in the confinements of those 4 walls that you live in right now. And I hope that you never, ever, ever have a night of peace for the rest of your miserable life. Well, everybody, that's the end of this video. Please drop a comment in the comment section and just let me know what you think about this video. And if you have any video ideas, drop those in the comment section as well. Well, everybody, my time is over, and I will see you next video. Later, y'all.